Hey, Blastroid here, back again with another mini game built in Satisfactory. This time we're talking about Mastermind. Now, Mastermind is a cult classic. It's one of my favorite games growing up as a kid. Basically, you have a code maker and a code breaker. The code maker makes a 4-digit code. He has 6 different options of some items or some colors, and he puts them in series 1, 2, 3, 4. The code breaker has 10 chances of guessing that code. Now there again, he has 6 items to choose from. He doesn't know what the code is. So he guesses 4 of the items, and the code maker will return some information every single round. How many items he got correct color in the right location, and how many items he got correct color but in the wrong location. And with that information, you use it to guess again. And if you get 10 attempts and you don't get it right, you lose the game. Of course, if you break the code, you win the game. So that's the basis of the game. It's pretty simple, but it's a great game. There are a couple of things I want to talk about though before we actually show the game. First thing is there's an important setting that you need to do. So I'm put here on the wall. You need to go into your console, enter pull.light.count equals 150. We use a lot of lights here right at the beginning, and I think the default's a little bit too low. So once you get to round 9 or 10, you may not see all the lights. So put that right here. It's very important to do that so you get all the information you need to play the game. The other thing is, even though I designed this to be a multiplayer game, there's actually a really bad bug in multiplayer. This game does not work in multiplayer. We've tried it on servers, not without servers or anything. There's just so many bugs in multiplayer. For some reason this doesn't work. It works perfectly fine in single player, and that's how we're going to treat the game for right now. Hopefully this gets fixed soon. Maybe when 1.0 comes out, all these problems will go away and we can play multiplayer. So what's going to happen in the download area, in the description of the video, you'll see a download link. There'll be a zip file containing about 12 different files. One will be the multiplayer file, which doesn't work very well. It may work on a local network, but won't work over the internet very well. I don't know. I haven't tested local. But you'll find 11 other files that are single player files. So here on the board, I put a little number, and you'll see 1 through 10, and there's a special file. I'll let you find that. And I went ahead and put the code already in the game. So all you have to do, you are the code breaker, and you're going to try to break the code. That's how we're going to kind of do this download this time, since multiplayer has so many issues. Now you can go ahead and set your code, and I'll show you how to set a code here, and then give that file to your friend already set, and then they can play it single player. So alright, let's get started. We're going to look at behind the scenes here in just a second, but I did show you how a lot of this logic was done. We did not use any mods or save edits. I didn't even use a Satisfactory calculator on this save to actually do everything. So the logic is a little bit slower than some of mine because I'm not teleporting belts or anything weird. The 100% vanilla. Alright, here we go. Mastermind. This is your game area. You'll see the game board right here with your 10 different guesses you can get up to. On the left side, you'll see there are 4 different lights. Let me turn my flashlight on here. There are 4 lights that represent if you got a correct color in the correct slot. Remember, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 slots. The right side represents correct color, but you got it in the wrong slot. Over here, you'll see the slot areas. We're going to be inserting items in here. We actually insert 2 of the same items for our guess. The reason I asked you to insert 2 items is because one will go here to the board so you can actually see your previous guess, and the other goes to my logic system to determine which lights on the left side and right side to light up. We'll do that here in just a second. Once you put your items in, then you come over here and you lock in your guess and you're good to go. And then about a few seconds later, you'll see your information. Here on the wall, you'll actually see the 6 items you choose from. You can go and collect them, and you want to separate those into 2 stacks. You don't have to do them all, and we'll do a couple here in a second, but just have a few 2 stacks ready to go to guess on the wall. Alright, if you want to set a code, which I already created a code on the downloads, but if you want to create a new one, you come here to the code maker entrance, and I even have a little message saying, hey, this code's already been set. What you'll see here is the 4 slots, and there are smart splitters under the wall. So per the directions, on the right side, you need to put your correct item. For example, this code right here is the empty canister. The 2nd digit is the silica. 3rd digit, liquid biofuel. And 4th digit is copper powder. That is my code. Now you'll notice there's something in the center output. The center output is basically a correct item, but in the wrong location. It's all the other 3 Smart Splitter items. You're basically saying, oh, if they put any of these items here, they're correct, but copper powder is just 4th digit. Those are 1, 2, and 3. So you need to kind of tell the program which are the wrong items, or sorry, the wrong location, but correct items. So whatever is not the item here, you put in the other things. I went ahead and put some examples on the wall. You'll see you can even do duplicates. You could do 4 turbo fuels if you wanted to. Not a great code, but here I have 2 turbo fuels, a fuel, and a silica. So the right side would be listed this way, and the center I would only list this. If you do duplicates, you have less items than if you do just a unique code. You have 3 items instead. So that's kind of how to set the code, and you're ready to play. So let's go ahead and give it a test. I went ahead, just for the video's sake, I put our code right here on the wall so we can remember exactly what to expect on these lights. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of items here. And what we want to do is we want to break these out in a couple of 2s. For the example here, I'm only going to do 1 run. Alright, that should be good. Alright, looking at our code, let's go ahead and do an empty canister since that's our first digit, so we'll at least get 1 green light. So I'm going to put 2 empty canisters in this hole. And then let's do 3 wrong answers. So slot number 2, I'm going to guess fuel. Slot 3, I'm going to guess fuel. Actually, let's go to another empty canister. Let's do 1 correct location, 2 wrongs, 1 correct item, but it's in the wrong location because that empty canister only exists in number 1. Alright, once all 4 items show up on your game board, you can now pull the lever over here. What you're going to do here is you're going to click on it, and this is that new circuit break priority switch. So you click on that and you'll see your 10 different guesses. We're on guess number 1, so I'm going to activate that. I did mention a sign here of waiting about 25 seconds per round, and it does take about 20 seconds before these lights will light up. So let's go ahead and wait for these lights to light up and get some information. Alright, there we go. It's showing a correct item in the correct location with a green light, and then we have a blue light over here representing correct color or correct item but wrong location, and we know what the code is. So we know right now this is the correct item and correct location, and this one is the correct item but wrong location, and these 2 didn't get any information at all. Now the user playing will not know the code, of course, so he doesn't decipher that green light as anything other than he has 1 correct and 1 location, but he has to use that information to figure out which of these 4 items it was talking about. And it's a little confusing right now because we really have 1 empty canister, but we have 2 bits of information. It's all because we have an extra empty canister in the wrong location, and it's telling us that even though we do have it correct right here. So it's a pretty cool game of elimination, and hopefully you get it right. I do have a special treat if you win the game, and I have a special treat for you if you lose the game. But that is the entire game of Mastermind. Hope you enjoy it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the behind the scenes real quick, and then I will let you download and start playing. Alright, make sure you also read all the signs. I went ahead and put a bunch of important information for you. For example, enabling fly mode is going to help you see the board and things like that. But here's the behind the scenes. I'll do a fly little area. You can do the walkways and kind of go everywhere, or you can just fly around if you want to. But here are our logic boards that we set up. Remember, we have 10 rounds, and I have a wall here. Anything on the left of the wall is trying to figure out if you have the correct item in the correct location, actually wrong location. You can see I've already activated round 1, so that coal is flowing. And over here on the right, this is detecting right location and right item. On the right location, I have also 10 more logic boards that detects if you won the game or not. So that's what all these are at. Not going to show you everything. You can fly around and look at it, but there's a lot of cool cool stuff going around for logic wise. But in case you're wondering how I did everything, oh, actually I do want to go over one stat real quick because I'm proud of this one. Only 50 truck stations used for logic rooms. That is so not a lot of truck stations. I use truck stations for logic usually, and I use hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of truck stations in some of the builds I've done to get my logic to work. But on this build, I've only used 50 truck stations, and because I've created another logic method that I'm using here, for 90% of the logic, I'm using something called item path blocking. It's allowing you to change the path of the item just by like turning on power to something. And by changing the path of the item, I can, for example, take a piece of coal and I can either activate a power coal generator or not activate a coal generator. For example, if you get a correct answer, I might want to light something up. Or if you don't get a correct answer, I may not want to light that up. That's kind of how I'm doing the system. And every single one of these logic rooms you see here uses that kind of system. So I went ahead and put the blueprints out here so you could walk up to the blueprint and hit the save button and it's on your system. I'm not saying that blueprint's going to be important to you, but if you want to investigate or use it in your system somehow, or hopefully you create a mini game too and share it with me, it'd be great. I went ahead and described on the board very detailed what's in that blueprint and kind of gave you a bullet point list of what's going on here. And then it, like say for example, these are connected, so it continues on bringing the items over here to our light power logic room, and then this is our wind detector logic room. Very, very easy logic room right there. And that's pretty much it. That is Mastermind, built in Satisfactory, 100% vanilla. Had a blast making this game. I think we did 4 or 5 days on stream. I had like an 8-hour stream. I don't usually stream that long. And we built this live in front of everybody. Had a lot of problems, found a lot of bugs, but we overcame them and got a working game. There again, look in the video description. You see the download link. Unzip that into your save folder and play the single player games. And hopefully when 1.0 comes out, we can actually start playing the multiplayer game. And I might start playing these on stream too, and we can have a blast doing that. Until the next mini game, you have a great one. Bye-bye.